There are kings that are sovereign. They don't control the will of every single person. Again, we have like a lot of patristic testimony to that there's nothing stopping God from creating creatures that have a will. And even if he knows the outcome of it, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's, controlling their will or has predetermined, all of their choices
That's
from
a
the
that's
get-go.
a lower tier of sovereignty. That's the kind of sovereignty I had over my Masters of the Universe figures when I was 8. Right? They could only do and say the things that I made them do and say. They had
Yeah.
no. Who is more sovereign, right? The slave master or the benevolent king? From the image of kingship that we receive in Scripture, King David, King Josiah, Christ, are they puppet masters, right? Or are they just and righteous dealers with people who they allow freedom to live their lives? So the icons, the images that we receive in Scripture of God as king are not the Calvinist view of sovereignty. There's something very far superior to it. So this is a game. This is an old evangelical Protestant game. You've seen them doing this recently with the Bible, right?
Ah,
Where they
yes,
all
the
take this position that the
inscripturated.
Bible is
Yes.
eternal and uncreated, and then if you question that, right, then they say, "Oh, you have a low view of the Bible." It's like, well, yeah, because you've taken an absurd one, right? So I guess technically it's lower than yours, but
In
yours is absurd.
comparison.
Calvinists run this same game with the sovereignty thing. The quickie Reformed definition of sovereignty is God ordains whatsoever comes to pass. Everything that happens in the world, everything that has ever happened in human history is the result of God's decree. Not just he allowed it to happen, he decreed it to happen. He made it happen. Yes, that means, and if you talk to a consistent one, they will double down on this. Every word of the Epstein files was eternally ordained by God to happen for his glory. But so that's how they define God's sovereignty. So you can see the game. As soon as you say, no, I think evil is because humans freely choose to reject God, you have a low view of God's sovereignty. You think people are just running around doing all these things and God can't do anything about it, which is, of course, not what you're saying, right? But that's the game. And so that's why when I was talking about it earlier, I pointed out the wise king, like David, who's ruling over a nation, is more sovereign than a slave master, right? Because he is able to rule and govern and lead without controlling every single thing that any one of his subjects says and does.